I just did a first smell test of Noahic Balm's new scent, Vanilla Chai Spice. It smells incredible. I love fall scents, and I feel like chai is an underappreciated, underused scent in the fall. It just smells so good. Noahic Balm is one of my favorite companies, tallow balm companies. Their product called Nourish is the only one that I put on my face, and then their balms I love for my body. This video is about Candida. Candida has the ability to hibernate away. So sometimes you'll think that you got rid of it, and then you'll have a flare up and be like, I thought I got rid of this 8 years ago. So it has the ability basically to hibernate even when we starve it. So what happens is sometimes people will go carnivore or stop eating sugar. They starve the Candida and it still hides away. And so when you start eating sugar again, or you just eat enough, you know, the perfect dose, it comes out and you get all your symptoms. Some common symptoms of Candida: overgrowth, white film on your tongue, like oral thrush. You might get foot fungus, itchy scalp. That's also fungus. You know, you're constantly, oh, itchy. That's fungus. Bloating after you're eating. I think those are some of the more common Candida symptoms. It can also contribute to bigger things, like more significant things other than just cosmetic, like fatigue, even brain fog. So definitely, I would say it can even alter your mood because obviously it affects your microbiome. What's interesting is that everyone has Candida. A lot of people have CDiff. It's an overgrowth that causes issues. So, you know, if you do a gut zoomer or, you know, some type of test that breaks down your microbiome, you might have Candida, and you'll see that it's either within range or it's above or out of range, and that's when we have issues. I battled Candida for literally about 8 years, off and on, and I don't think I ever got rid of it until like the 8 years. I tried a lot of things. And so I have established a protocol that I use for clients who have starved it, but it still is persisting. It still is giving them symptoms. It's still a problem. It is using oregano oil. Surprise, surprise. Oregano oil is one of the only things that I use outside of food as medicine. One of the few things, I should say, because it is so effective. It not only kills Candida, but it also disrupts biofilms, and it's just very effective against Candida and so many other things. So you can either use fresh oregano, especially for children. You can use oregano oil, or you can use oregano capsules. And it depends on the individual which one of those we're going to use and how much we're going to take to start. But generally, the protocol is starting with a small dose, and we're finding the minimum effective dose to provoke a reaction, to provoke die-off. Once we start getting that reaction, we're going to just maintain it for up to 4 weeks, depending on the severity of the detox and the symptoms. And this really does vary based on the individual. I would never keep someone on it for longer than 4 weeks total at a time without taking a break, because if you take it long term, oregano oil not only kills the bad, it also kills the good. So you're sterilizing your gut. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to sterilize our guts. That's what antibiotics do. Oregano oil is nature's antibiotic. Oh, I just smell so good. This is great. And then I do that over and over until, you know, each time you should have less and less die-off symptoms. And common die-off symptoms, especially when taking oregano oil: diarrhea, poor mood. So not 80% of your serotonin is actually produced in your gut. So when we're sterilizing your gut, you're going to feel that probably in your mood. Those are probably the two most common symptoms. So Candida, moral of the story: first, try to starve it by no longer feeding it what it eats, which is sugar. Even fiber can feed Candida. Even romaine lettuce, which is extremely low carb, low sugar, can still feed Candida. So this also depends on the individual. You know, I've worked with people with really bad Candida issues, but they can get away with strawberry slices. I've worked with some people who can do some fruit but no plants. Some people who can do plants but no fruit. Everyone is bio-individual, and there are some things that, you know, will help me to gauge what they can tolerate, but it's going to be low sugar, low carb, enough that you are really, you're pulling back the food supply significantly for it to like panic and say, okay, we can't thrive on this. And when you do that, sometimes that's enough and sometimes it's not. When it's not, so you've tried that first. When it's not, then perhaps use oregano oil. If oregano oil is working but it doesn't do the trick, there are other things that I might incorporate, like colloidal silver. And then there's another thing called red horpedo extract that you can purchase. I believe the brand name that I have used is still available, called Kolorex, K-O-L-O-R-E-X. I am not recommending that you go out and buy that before trying all of these other things. There is an order that you should follow. Modify your diet first. Stop feeding it, because if you try to hit it with oregano but you're still feeding it, you're just creating a storm within your body. It's not really effective. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do, is I'll just buy a supplement to kill the Candida, but I'm still feeding it. So it's just a perpetual negative thing. Always start with food first, in my opinion. And then oregano, and then maybe some of these other things. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video on Candida because I know I've talked about it in other videos, but I don't think I have a video dedicated to Candida. I hope this encourages you to starve it out and look into oregano oil. And if you're nervous about using oil, sometimes fresh oregano can do the trick. My husband had a very, very severe die-off reaction to oregano oil, and he doesn't want to try that again. So he's been putting oregano in his eggs to help with Candida die-off. He has long-term Candida issues, and Candida is one of those things that you just gotta chip away at it. The longer you've had it, the longer it's likely to take to get rid of it completely, to fully inoculate the overgrowth or deal with it, and that's normal. It takes time, because my husband does not eat. He does not eat stuff that feeds Candida. He's mostly carnivore. I think that's all I wanted to say in this video. Let me know if you have thoughts, comments, questions below.